In the last episode, we learned that the stories in 1 and 2 Kings about the kings of the northern kingdom were written from a religious and not historical perspective. These kings were only considered successful if they accepted Yahweh as their only God. The prophets we read about most in 1 and 2 Kings are Elijah and Elisha, both who were in constant conflict with the kings of their times, trying to convince them to worship Yahweh alone. They were both believed to have performed miracles to show Yahweh's superiority over the Canaanite gods, especially Baal and Asherah. These stories all have strong legendary features, a hallmark of the storytelling back then. In today's episode, we are looking at other literature that dates from this 200-year period. This literature includes the Elohist document, the books of Amos and Hosea, Deuteronomy, and the beginnings of the book of Deuteronomy. Back in episode 4, we learned about the Yahweh's document and how the authors portrayed Yahweh as not only the God over all other gods, but he was also the creator of humankind. He was the personal God of the Israelites, always present and in control of their fate. This God has wandered amongst them in the Garden of Eden and could be talked to directly. He was a God who had their best interest at heart. As with the Yahweh's document, the Elohist document does not exist as a separate document, but we can find traces of it throughout the first 5 books of the Old Testament. As the Yahweh's did, the Elohists reinterpreted the history of Israel through the message they wanted to convey. The message the Elohists drove home was the superiority of Elohim above the Canaanite gods, repeatedly proving his power through miracles. Characteristically, the Elohists referred to God, Yahweh in the Yahweh's document, as Elohim. In contrast to Yahweh, Elohim never came in direct contact with humanity, but revealed himself through visions and dreams. At the time of the prophet Amos, the northern kingdom experienced a time of exceptional wealth under King Jeroboam. Unfortunately, wealth is often accompanied by social injustice, and this is the focus of the book of Amos. The inhabitants of the north were accused of exploiting the poor, weak, and defenseless. Amos also criticized the north's cultic practices. If they did not change their ways, Amos warned, Yahweh would punish them and reject them. Similarly, the prophet Hosea also warned the northern kingdom about their infidelity towards Yahweh. He metaphorically compared the north's relationship to Yahweh as a marriage to an unfaithful wife, using the names of his 3 children to portray different parts of his message. The other 2 books, which found its origins in the northern kingdom but were only completed later, were Deuteronomy and Deuteronomy. Both these books also warned against the northern kingdom's unfaithfulness to Yahweh and the social injustices the inhabitants were found guilty of. In the next episode, we will see how the southern kingdom compared to the northern kingdom and if they had any better success in keeping the prophets happy.